Hello and welcome to Mary's Stitching Corner. My name is Mary and this is my channel about cross stitch. How are you all doing? I hope that things are going well. It's been about a month since my last video, which for me is actually pretty good. This is Flosstube number 20 and it's Tuesday, September the 12th, 2023. And I have quite a bit to share. I have some FFOs, some finishes, new starts, WIPS, planned new starts, and some haul. And then at the end we can talk about some books that I've been reading and give you a life update. So let's just jump right in and get started. So I've been trying to fully finish more of my projects rather than just have them sitting in a box somewhere. So I finished a few things recently. These first things that I'm going to show you I stitched last year, and it was from a chart by a little stitch girl called Plaid Tidings, and I fully finished these last week and just turned them into pillows. So this is the first one, and this is stitched on 18 count aqua with Snow Effect, I think, by Fabric Flare. And for the backing fabric I just tried to match the look of the houses. I'm quite happy with how it turned out. And I finished it off with Chenille by Lady.Creates, and this is licorice, however you pronounce it. So that's the first one. That's the second. And number 3. So I'm quite happy with those. I'm sorry if I sound a bit sniffly. My allergies have been awful this year. My husband has what we hope is just a head cold, and I hope that this is allergies and not me catching his cold. So the second finish I have, this was by Blackbird Designs. It's called Blackbird, and I'm very happy with the way this turned out too. This was stitched on, I want to say 28 count, 32 count or 28 count platinum or mushroom, using the called for floss. So I'm very happy with that. And this one was not supposed to be a pillow, but I didn't measure it correctly when I was cutting it, and so it ended up as a pillow, and I may change it down the road, but for right now I'm okay with it. So this is Cinnamon Stars by Plum Street Samplers, stitched on 20 count vintage country mocha using the called for floss. And this is Mini Pom Poms by Lady.Creates. Oh, I can't remember the color, but I'm quite happy with it. And my final FFO, very happy with the way this turned out. So this is, I think it's called Roots by Stony Creek. I finished this a few months ago. I stitched it on 18 count white Ada, and I had this lying around in my craft room for a few years and just decided to use it for finishing. So I put some batting on this and mounted it on some mat board, and then did another layer just with the brown polka dot fabric, and then just attached it to this wooden sign, which this is the way it came. I didn't do any finishing on it, but I love how this turned out. Very happy with it. Okay, those are my fully finishes, and I have 2 finishes, and these were my WIP Go projects from August, so I was really happy to add some more finishes to my WIP Go board. I think this makes 10 finishes so far from my WIP Go board this year. So the first one is by Prairie Schooler, and it's called Autumn Leaves. So I've stitched winter and spring and now autumn, so I just have summer left to go. And this was stitched on 18 count vintage country mocha using the called for floss, and I love Prairie Schooler. And my second finish is a big one. This is one that I started as a birthday start last year, so it's about 1 year and 3 months since I started it, and I'm really happy to have it finished. So this is Black Vintage Sampler by Owl Forest Embroidery. I stitched it on 18 count ivory Ada using DMC 310, and I am thrilled with it. I was very scared that it wouldn't match up at the bottom because I messed up here, and I had to fudge the house because I lost a row somewhere. So when I got to the bottom, I was off by 1 row, but I don't think you can tell. So I love finishing a big project. I'm very happy with it. This one will go into my box that holds all my ready to be framed sometime in the future projects. So big projects like this make me nervous to finish myself, so hopefully down the road I'll be able to get some of these framed. So those are my finishes, and I've had a couple of new starts. So I started Be Ye Thankful from the Cricket collection. So Laura from Stitching by the Shore has a Facebook group, and every couple of weeks she gives us a color challenge, and this is one that I chose to match one of the color challenges. Plus I want to get my fall and Halloween stitching going, so I started, oh, lost my board. I've started this, and it is being stitched on 18 count linen Ada using the called for floss, and I've really been enjoying it. And then the next color challenge, I chose, no, never mind. We're done with the color challenges. So that's what I did with the color challenge. And then this one I chose because, again, I want to get my Halloween and fall stitching done. So this is the Addams Family by Plum Street Samplers. This is one of the ones I wanted to start last year and didn't. So I'm using the called for floss, and I am stitching it on 32 count Stormy Night Lugana. And that's what I've got done so far. Really been enjoying it. And I really enjoy stitching on even weave. I think I need to incorporate that more into my stitching. And this is a new bag from Stitch in Peace on Etsy. All right, so those are my new starts. And now we can go on to my WIPS. So my WIP Go projects for September, sorry, my fan is blowing my hair into my face. My WIP Go projects for September are two big ones. So I'm trying to do at least an hour a day on each of them. And the first one you've seen a few times. A Perfect World by the Scarlet House. And if you've watched me before, you know I've been struggling with it because it's on 40 count linen, but I'm getting there. So since I saw you last, I finished the house and I've been focusing down here because this is the most intense stitching of the whole thing. So I have 2 more flowers to do. So right here will be the end. So I don't have a ton left to do, but again, this takes a long time. So my plan is to keep focusing on this and get as much of this done this month as I can, and then I can start coming up here, which will be this right here. So once I've done this, there's not a ton left to do. So I actually think if I keep stitching on it, maybe I could get it done this year. We'll see. I love how it looks, but I will be very glad when it's done because the 40 count has been a real challenge for me. So the second project for WIP Go this month is one you haven't seen for quite a while. If I can get it out of my bag. So it's Twilight Bridge by the Gold Collection. And this, I think, is my oldest WIP. This is from, I started it in August 2020. And I have a long way to go. So I've just barely finished this quarter. So I still have 3/4 left to go. And this is where we are. Love how it looks. But it's very intense stitching. Lots of color changes, lots of strands of thread, like 2, 3, 4 strands. 5, I think, is the most we have in here. But the good news is, once I move over here, a lot of it is half cross stitch or tent stitch. So all of the sky is tent stitch, and the bridge and the trees will be a mixture of full cross and tent stitch. So I'm hoping that this will go faster. This cottage was full cross. So, I mean, there's no way I'm even going to get I'm even going to get paint. Oh my gosh. There is no way I'm even going to get a page finished this month, but I hope to make some decent progress. I love dimensions kits. They're just very time consuming. Even if you're a monogamous stitcher, they do take quite a long time. But I'm enjoying it. It's a nice change of pace from everything else I've been doing. All right, so next, this is almost done. This is what I've been stitching for Mill Hill Monday. And it is Haunted Tower by Buttons and Beads. Mill Hill Buttons and Beads. Having a problem with words today. So I've been beading it the last few days. I'm almost done. I think I've got most of the chunks of beadwork done. I've just got all of these single beads to do. And then it will be done and ready for Halloween. So the ghosts are stitched in, where are they? These two right here. They're stitched using glow in the dark Krynic. And oh my gosh, it's so hard to work with. So thankfully there wasn't a whole lot to do using that. But I'm really liking how it looks. I think I've got all the back stitching done. It's just the rest of the beading. And I'll be adding, I think I have another Mill Hill Halloween project that I will start doing on Mondays once this is done. So I pulled this one out. I hadn't touched it for a while and got a little bit done. I was getting a little bit nervous about whether this was going to fit on the fabric. So this is Spring Quaker by Lila Studio. I'm also doing Summer Quaker, and I think there's an Autumn Quaker coming. So I'm very excited about that. So I pulled this out and I got kind of nervous that maybe I was going to run out of room. So I worked my way across the fabric just to make sure that I was going to have enough space, and I'm fine. So I'm using the called for floss except for this color here, which I changed to DMC to get more contrast. And I'm also using pink as the border around here instead of white, because the white didn't show up on my fabric very much. So since I saw you last, or since I showed this last, I've just brought this along right here. And I'm stitching it on 18 count parchment by To Dye For Fabrics, 1/1. So this is called Autumn Jumble by the Drawn Thread. Sorry. And there's a lot of specialty stitches. Well, not a lot, but there's a few specialty stitches in here that I'm kind of struggling with. I've changed all of the colors on here because it calls for silk floss, and I've changed it to DMC and just tried to match the colors. So since last time I've done this row, maybe even this row, and I had this square done, but I was off by a row. So I had to unpick and start it again, which is annoying because this is one of the ones that has specialty stitches in it. So this is being stitched on 32 count platinum or mushroom, and I'm using 1/1. So I think it looks really cute. I just struggle with those specialty stitches. I have a shepherd's bush project. I should say that's my oldest WIP because it goes back about 25 years or something, and I've almost got it done, but I can't figure out some of the specialty stitches. So I don't want to just UFO it because I really like it, but every once in a while I pick it up and try and figure out the stitches, and I just can't. So, all right, my next WIP, this is what I've made into my daily project. I work on it for 30 minutes a day. I've been doing this monthly series all year, and I just got really tired of it and took a break for a couple of months, but I've only got 2 left to do, and I want to get them done. So I just do 30 minutes a day, and then eventually it will get done. So this is Country Cottage Needleworks Sampler of the Month, and this is November. So when I picked it up after having left it for a while, I had the house done, and I had the tree trunks done. So since I started working on it again, I filled in the leaves and all of this. And they actually stitch up quite quickly. I should be done, you know, I don't know how long it will take me, but it won't take me too much longer. So this is being stitched on 28 count gold even weave that I've had for many years. And I'm using the called for floss, which is Classic Colorworks. I will be very happy to get these done. And I was thinking, I don't want to do kind of a monthly project again, because it just gets kind of boring, but I don't know who the designer is on the monthly Quakers that I've seen people do, and they're so cute. So you never know, maybe I will end up doing something like that again. Okay, this is, I haven't done much on this one. This is by Shannon Christine Designs. And this was Laura's color challenge a few weeks ago. And it's Bluebird Sampler. And one of the things I really like about Shannon Christine Designs is her shading with the colors. Okay. So last time I had, I think, just stitched this top rows and these leaves. So I've come through here. This isn't, I'm still working on page 1, but I love it. I think it looks absolutely beautiful. And I'm just stitching it on 18 count white Aida because I wanted it to pop. And I'm really happy with it. And there's beading in this one, so like right now, so there's 4 colors, 4 shades of blue, and then there's some gold beads. So there's just little sections of beading throughout. I'm probably pointing to the wrong things. So there's beads in the middle here. I think it will be really nice when it's done. And this is a project I've been working on for a long time, and I just pick it up in the evenings and do a few minutes here and there. And this is All Creatures Great and Small by Barbara Anna Designs. And I am working on this section right here, this half. So I started in the middle, and then I've just been working over here. So I was very happy that the border met up, and I've been working down here. And this is 20 count Vintage Country Mocha using the called for anchor floss. So very happy with it. And my last WIP is Witchy Dreams by Barbara Anna Designs. And I chose this for another color challenge, but this was also one that I wanted to start last year and didn't get around to. So I've got her face done and started on her hair. This is being stitched on 18 count Hazy Grey by Fabric Flare. And I'm quite happy with my progress. It seems like her face is very, very stitch intensive. And once you get that done, it seems to go a lot faster. So I'm really enjoying her designs. Got quite a few of her charts. All right, so that's all of my WIPs. Plan starts. So the one I'm going to start next is by Shannon Christine Designs. And I've been wanting to start this for quite a while. They have it stitched at my LNS, and every time I go in, I want to start it, but the timing was really good this time. So it is Autumn Favorites. And I'm going to stitch on 18 count black Ada using the code 4 floss. And these colors are gorgeous. So I'm really looking forward to starting this one in the next few days. And then the other two planned new starts, because I wouldn't say there wouldn't be others. And this is a new bag since I saw you last time. Stitch in Peace. I love her bags. I don't think I pulled them out, just a second. Okay. So the other two charts I want to start, again, are ones that I wanted to start last year. And this is Prairie Schooler. All Hallows Eve. And I'm going to stitch on this from Fabric Flare. I don't know what color it is. And the other one is Lady Halloween by Jardin Privé. And I will be stitching on Lavender by Fabric Flare. That's what I'm planning. There may be more, but I'm trying. Trying not to start too many things. So I have a small haul. Just the Shannon Christine one was part of my haul. And the two project bags, and I got When Witches Go Riding by Prairie Schooler. And Thanksgiving Comes Again by Prairie Schooler. I'm not sure if I'll get these started this year. And I also bought a Mill Hill frame for my Halloween piece. So that's my haul. And I think that's all my stitching. I just plan to continue stitching on most of these WIPs, especially the fall and Halloween. I want to focus on those and focus on my WIP Go projects and get those moved along. And yeah, that's it. So we can talk about the books that I've been reading since I saw you last, which I've only read one new one, and that was let's see. It's a book by Barbara Davis called The Echo of Old Books. Get the glare off of there. So this was interesting. It was a book that I started and I was quite a ways in before I decided whether I liked it or not. And I did end up liking it. And I probably would read more of hers. It was an interesting concept. It was about this girl, and she had a special gift of being able to touch an old book and feel the emotions of the person that wrote it or the person that maybe just read it last. And she comes across 2 books that have no author listed and no publishing company or date, and so it becomes a mystery to try and determine where these books came from. And so it goes between her in the present day, and then it has her reading these books, but it takes you to the time that these books have been written. And so she tries to uncover the mystery of how these books came to be. So it was interesting and I quite enjoyed it. So I would recommend it if you haven't read any of her books before. And then I'm rereading a book series right now, which is why I haven't added any more new books to my reading list this month. And so I started reading Karen White, The House on Trad Street. So this is the Trad Street series, and there's quite a few books, maybe 7, 8, maybe even more than that. So I read them last year for the first time and thoroughly enjoyed them, and started reading them again a couple of weeks ago. So I'm on book 2 right now. So I thoroughly enjoy these books. It's got a really good balance of spookiness and humor, and the characters are really likable. And so if you're not familiar with the books, it's basically about a lady that is a realtor, and she is a psychic, and she lives in Charleston and spends a lot of her time selling old homes. And she ends up usually having to solve a ghostly mystery in a lot of these homes. So I really like them. They're not too scary, but they, they're a little bit spooky, but it's not too bad, but they're very, very enjoyable. So that's my book stuff this month. It's not too much to share. And there's not a whole lot to share in life either, I think. Excuse me. It's been pretty peaceful lately. Excuse me. Katrina started her new job at the orthodontics office, and she loves it. It was hard at first because the only thing she's ever done since she left high school is banking, and she's very comfortable with that. So going into something where it was brand new was a little bit intimidating for her, but she's getting more comfortable and she's really enjoying it, and it's a great company to work for. They're having a big event this week, kind of to tie in with their theme of the year. And so they're having a fancy dinner and entertainment, so it's like a red carpet event. So she's going to take Sarah with her, and they've had to find formal dresses to wear, which has been a nightmare. It's been really hard for them to find anything. You know, they didn't have much time, and then Katrina was sick a week ago and she lost a whole weekend, so they were out this last weekend trying to find stuff and couldn't find anything. And we're all really short in my family, apart from my husband. You know, I'm 5'2", Katrina's I think 5'1.5", and Sarah's about 5 feet tall. So everything they wore was super long, and they really didn't have time to get it hemmed or anything. So, and they couldn't really find anything that they really, really liked. But finally I went and looked on Amazon and was looking through their stuff, and we found a couple of dresses on there which still need to be hemmed, but not a huge amount. But they're really cute dresses, and so they finally have something to wear. And so that should be fun for them. I don't think there's anything else going on with them. Sarah finally got some answers on her health stuff, and turns out her thyroid is way off. She was on medication a few years ago and came off of it, and her thyroid numbers were just crazy. So she's going to start thyroid medication again, and hopefully that will help with everything. And my husband, he's got a really bad head cold right now. He was down in St. George this last weekend to be with my stepson Nick for his divorce mediation. After 12 hours, it was finally resolved. So within a month, the divorce should be final. It's been a nightmare. And this has gone on for almost a year now. So, I mean, he's extremely sad that his marriage broke down, but he's so relieved to get to the point where this can be put behind him. So we're very happy about that. Really, with me, there's not a lot going on. I talked to my best friend in Scotland a couple of weeks ago, and talked to my brother last week, one of my brothers, because it was his birthday. And that's always really enjoyable. We usually talk for about 3 hours, and that was nice. There's nothing new going on, just same old, same old. It's cooling down. We're in the low 80s now. We're also getting days here and there that are in the 70s, and the nights are cooler, and the mornings are nice and cool, which is nice. I haven't been able to spend a lot of time outdoors this year because of my allergies, but it's just nice to not be in that scorching heat that we had for a while. So other than that, there is not a lot going on. I hope that everything is good with you. So until next time, please take care, and we will see you hopefully in about a month. Take care. Bye for now.